Hi, welcome to the Listen and Grow podcast, your daily LGBTQ plus news source. I'm Zach Randall-Friedman, and today is Thursday, March 14th. I have 6 stories today, and all of them are fresh, all of them matter, and let's get into it. First, Hobby Lobby funding campaign to overturn marriage equality. We're starting something that deserves way more attention than it's getting. New reporting from the Seattle Times has revealed that Hobby Lobby's founder, David Green, is financing the largest organized effort to overturn same-sex marriage in America. Green's charitable arm, the Servant Foundation, donated $300,000 to a group called Them Before Us, which is part of a 47-organization right-wing coalition called the Greater Than Campaign. The campaign's explicit goal is to radically alter U.S. marriage policy, beginning with overturning the Supreme Court's 2015 Obergefell versus Hodges decision, the ruling that legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. Green's foundation is also a major funder of the Alliance Defending Freedom, which, with the Southern Poverty Law Center, describes as an anti-LGBTQ hate group. Let's say this plainly. The company that sells craft supplies and seasonal decorations is quietly funding an organized campaign to erase your marriage. That's what's happening. The next time someone asks you where you shop for scrapbooking materials or picture frames, this is the context. Maybe avoid the store. Next, Canadian University denying trans students care due to the orange convicted felon fears. This one is genuinely jaw-dropping, and I need you to really hear it. McGill University in Quebec, and that's in Canada, has been defying gender-affirming hormone therapy for at least 2 transgender American students since March, after the school quietly adopted a preemptive policy out of fear that the Orange Convicted Felons Administration might retaliate against the institution. A Canadian university restricting Canadian healthcare because of an American president's executive orders. When doctors at McGill's Student Wellness Hub explained the policy change, a staffer from the Montreal Trans Patient Union who was in the meeting responded, "These are American laws. American laws don't apply to Canada." They are correct, and yet the chilling effect is real. Trans students who moved to another country specifically to access care are now being turned away, not because of Canadian law, but because of the fears of American policy. This is how far the reach of this administration has extended. I don't totally understand their rationale because most of these schools and that are not, or hospitals or any medical organization that are not supporting gender affirming care is because they don't want to lose funding. But how is the Orange Convicted Felons Administration giving a school in Canada funding? This makes no sense. I do not agree with what McGill University is doing. It's insane. Give the care. Next, Pennsylvania official refuses to step down after anti-trans mailer. Moving to Pittsburgh, where the local LGBTQ plus community showed up this week with receipts and a microphone. Allegheny City Council President Pat Katina is facing intense calls to resign and to drop his campaign for a Pennsylvania state House seat, after his campaign sent out a mailer attacking his opponent for being supported by an extreme left group that advocates for transgender athletes in our sports. At a packed county council meeting on Tuesday, speaker after speaker got to the mic. One constituent told Cantina directly, "You need to step down, period." In what has been one of the worst apology attempts of the year, Cantina quietly sent a $500 personal check to a local trans nonprofit. They sent it back. Trans Uniting, the nonprofit, issued a statement that said accountability is not quietly sending money and hoping people move on. Accountability is sitting down with the people you've harmed and truly understanding the consequences of your action. Our community is not for sale. A vote to strip Cantina of his council's president seat is now being organized for the May 26th meeting, and we will be watching. Next, major doctor groups reverses stance on trans youth health care. This story has major international implications, and honestly, it's complicated. The British Medical Association, the trade union for doctors in the United Kingdom, representing 190,000 physicians, has reversed its previous position, and now it's backing the controversial CAS review, the 2024 report that recommended dramatically curtailing gender-affirming care for young people in the UK. The BMA originally opposed the Cass review with strong language calling its finding unsubstantiated. But this week, the BMA published its own 2-year analysis of the review, and the lead author, Professor David Strain, said could not name a single recommendation from the Cass review that the BMA now opposes. Here's the important nuance. The BMA is still opposing the government's outright ban on puberty blockers, saying the prescribing decision should belong to the doctor, not politicians. We spent decades training on how to use drugs, the organization said, and now to have a political decision affecting the way we prescribe is wrong. And this matters beyond the UK because the Cass review has already been cited in U.S. courts and used as justification for state bans on gender-affirming care for minors. Despite the fact that the medical form of gender-affirming care it targets is supported by every major American medical association and has been linked to reduced rates of depression and suicide in trans youth. This story is something we will keep track of and bring you updates as they come. Our next story is LGBTQ Catholics complete historic pilgrimage to Rome. Now a moment of something different because we need it. LGBTQ Catholics and their families participated in a Holy Year pilgrimage to Rome recently, marking what organizers described as a new level of acceptance within the Catholic Church. For many of the participants, this was a profoundly emotional experience, returning to a faith that has historically rejected or harmed them and finding something different: space, recognition, and dignity. The Catholic Church has not changed its official doctrine on same-sex relationships, but under Pope Francis, the Pope's tone has shifted meaningfully, and for LGBTQ people of faith who have stayed in the church, moments like this pilgrimage carries enormous weight. If you are someone who grew up Catholic and has felt torn between your faith and identity, this story is for you. You are not alone in your presence in this space. Our final story is FBI sues after firing for having pride flag at desk. So we'll close today with a story that is equal parts infuriating and important. A 16-year FBI employee has filed a lawsuit alleging he was fired last month because he had a pride flag displayed near his desk. 16 years of service, a pride flag at his workplace, gone. This is not an isolated incident. It fits squarely into the broader pattern of federal agencies systematically removing LGBTQ employees, symbols, and visibility from government spaces. NASA told employees that the pride flags at their desks could result in administrative leave. DEI programs have been gutted, and now a federal agent with 16 years on the job fired over a flag. The lawsuit is now filed, and we'll keep you updated on how this moves through the courts. So that's today's Listen Up Girls podcast, 6 stories that matter to our community right now. Stay informed, stay connected. If you think today's news is heavy, which it is, take care of yourself. Be sure to subscribe, be sure to leave a review, and I'll be back tomorrow with more news. Thanks.